Miami Vice ran for 5 seasons across 111 episodes. 8 actors built the core of that show. For decades later, their lives have gone in directions the scripts never imagined. Number 1. Don Johnson. Detective James "Sonny" Crockett. Don Johnson had failed to carry 5 television pilots before Miami Vice. The network was skeptical. Creator Anthony Yerkovich was not. Johnson got the part. He was born in rural Missouri in 1949, drifted to Los Angeles as a teenager, and by 1973 was making low-budget films. On one of those sets, he met Melanie Griffith, the teenage daughter of actress Tippi Hedren. He was 22. She was 14. They eventually lived together, married on her 18th birthday in January 1976, and divorced before that summer ended. Griffith later said she married him to escape the relationship. It didn't work. They remarried in 1989, had a daughter, Dakota Johnson, now one of the most recognizable actresses of her generation, and divorced again in 1996. When the show became a hit, Johnson earned $30,000 per episode while Tom Selleck was pulling $250,000 on Magnum PI. Before season 3, he demanded a raise and walked off the lot when the studio refused. Universal sued him for $10 million and went public with news that replacements were already lined up. The standoff ended the same day. He returned at roughly $65,000 an episode. In November 2002, German customs officers stopped a car at the Swiss-German border. Johnson was in the back seat. In the trunk was a briefcase containing bank documents showing roughly $8 billion in transactions. German authorities opened a money laundering investigation. He was eventually cleared, saying he had been pursuing film financing in Europe. The case cost him several business deals. His real fortune came later. A decade-long legal fight against the production company behind Nash Bridges ended in 2010 when a Los Angeles court awarded him $23.2 million. Today he is 76, living in California with his fifth wife, Kelly Flager, who was previously the longtime partner of Governor Gavin Newsom. He has 6 children. Number 2. Edward James Olmos. Lieutenant Martin Castillo. When Olmos joined the show in 1984, he negotiated full creative control over a character that didn't yet exist. He chose his own wardrobe, plain, off-the-rack suits, never pressed. He cleared his desk to bare wood. He delivered his lines in a near whisper that tested the sound crew. Lieutenant Castillo barely moved. When he walked into a scene, the other actors adjusted. He won both an Emmy and a Golden Globe in 1985, less than a year after joining the cast. He had nearly not become an actor at all. As a teenager in California, he was a state batting champion and was drafted into the Los Angeles Dodgers farm system at 13. At 15, he quit baseball to front a psychedelic rock band. His father never forgave him. There was also undiagnosed dyslexia running underneath everything, which he didn't learn about until much later. His break came playing the narrator in Zoot Suit, a stage production about the 1943 Sleepy Lagoon riots. The performance earned him a Tony nomination. 3 years later, Castillo arrived. While he was winning his Miami Vice Emmy, he was also completing American Me, a film he directed about the origins of the Mexican mafia inside California's prison system. It depicted a prison rape in its early scenes. The real organization took serious offense. Within months of the 1992 release, 3 consultants connected to the film were murdered. Court documents later revealed that Olmos himself had been listed as a victim in a 33-count federal extortion indictment. A senior figure in the organization had attempted to extort him personally. Actor Danny Trejo has said publicly that as many as 10 people connected to the film were killed. Olmos kept working. Selena, Battlestar Galactica, Blade Runner 2049. In late 2022, after months of chemotherapy that doctors warned might permanently damage his voice, he completed radiation treatment for throat cancer. He lost around 70 pounds. The voice came back. In September 2025, at age 78, he appeared at a Miami Vice reunion in Miami Beach and hosted an event on a yacht. He is now 79. Number 3. Philip Michael Thomas. Detective Ricardo Tubbs. Before Miami Vice, Philip Michael Thomas had made a promise to himself. He would win an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony. He was so certain this would happen that he coined an acronym for it, EGOT, which has since entered the wider cultural vocabulary. Thomas was born in Columbus, Ohio in 1949, raised in Southern California by his mother alongside 7 half-siblings. He sang in a Pentecostal church choir as a teenager and seriously considered ministry. A scholarship took him to Oakwood University in Alabama. He dropped out at 22 to make his Broadway debut in a Pulitzer Prize-winning play, then spent years working his way toward television. By 1984, he was in Miami, driving a Ferrari. His pay gap with Johnson was real and never closed. He earned $25,000 per episode in the first 2 seasons to Johnson's $30,000 to $35,000. After the salary dispute in 1986, he moved to $50,000 while Johnson rose past $65,000. When the show ended, the offers slowed significantly. He worked in Italian television for a time and recorded 2 albums that found no audience. In 1994, he became the spokesman for a psychic telephone network, opening commercials in a pastel jacket with the tagline "From Miami Vice to World Advice." The network later replaced him with Miss Cleo. He sued, and in 2002, a New York arbitrator awarded him $1.48 million for unauthorized use of his name and likeness, plus interest. That same year, he voiced a character named Lance Vance in Grand Theft Auto: Vice City, a fictional 1980s Miami crime story in which his character was a drug trafficker. The man who spent 5 seasons chasing dealers on television was now voicing one in a video game. Thomas has at least 11 children, was married twice, and lives quietly at 76. He turns 77 later this month. Number 4. Gregory Sierra, Lieutenant Lou Rodriguez. Gregory Sierra appeared in the first 4 episodes of Miami Vice and then asked to leave. His character was written out with a bullet. Sierra himself simply didn't want to relocate to Miami for a long production. The producers obliged, and the show's entire tone shifted when Edward James Olmos walked in to fill the vacancy. Sierra was born in Manhattan in January 1937 and raised in Spanish Harlem by an aunt. After high school, he served in the Air Force. He stumbled into acting. He attended an audition only to support a friend, performed an improvisation while waiting, and was accepted in his friend's place. The National Shakespeare Company hired him in his 30s. By the early 1970s, he was a recognizable face in American television. 3 seasons as Julio Fuentes on Sanford & Son, 2 seasons as Detective Sergeant Chano Amengual on Barney Miller, and recurring roles on Soap and elsewhere. Through every part, he consistently pushed against the obvious interpretation. He retired from acting in 2018. On January 4, 2021, he died in Laguna Woods, California, 3 weeks before what would have been his 84th birthday, following a prolonged battle with stomach and liver cancer. His wife described her grief to CNN in terms that made clear theirs had been a life built together. He left behind 2 daughters and a granddaughter. Number 5. John Deal, Detective Larry Zito. John Deal played Larry Zito across the first 2 seasons and into Season 3, when the character was tortured and killed by a bookmaker in a 2-part episode. The loss, by most accounts, registered more deeply with audiences than anyone anticipated. Deal was born in Cincinnati in 1950, raised Catholic, and had no acting background until age 27, when a scene study class in Hollywood led to a Sam Shepard stage production in 1979. 5 years later, he was on Miami Vice, what almost no one talked about publicly at the time. While filming the show, Deal was also a licensed professional boxer. He made his pro debut in December 1985 at the Miami Beach Convention Center. His opponent went down in the first round. He fought twice more and retired from the sport with a 3-0 record in 1986, the same year his character died on screen, and the same year, he asked the producers to release him from his contract, citing thin writing. He became one of the more quietly dependable character actors of his generation afterward. Oliver Stone cast him as G. Gordon Liddy in Nixon. Jurassic Park 3 killed him early. A Time to Kill, Stargate, and more than 150 other screen credits followed. He married singer Julie Christensen in 1992. Their son Magnus became an actor and filmmaker. The family relocated from Nashville to Ojo Caliente, New Mexico in 2022. Deal turned 76 3 days ago. Number 6. Sandra Santiago, Detective Gina Calabrese. Sandra Santiago appeared in all 111 episodes of Miami Vice. The role was originally written as a decoy used in prostitution stings. She declined to play it that way. By the second season, Gina Calabrese was running undercover operations that cost her personally each time, and her romantic involvement with Crockett was played as quiet, cumulative loss rather than television romance. In one third-season episode, she played both Gina and Gina's mother in the same installment and performed two songs live on stage. Santiago was born in the South Bronx in 1957, the daughter of a Cuban father and a Puerto Rican mother. Her family moved to Homestead, Florida, when she was 13. She earned a psychology scholarship to the University of Miami and then a Master of Fine Arts from Southern Methodist University. She made her Broadway debut as Catherine in Arthur Miller's A View from the Bridge. After Miami Vice, she pursued theater and cable drama over film stardom. Guiding Light cast her as crime boss Carmen Santos in 1999, earning her an ALMA award. The Sopranos gave her a recurring role she has called the best working experience of her career. She toured the United States and Canada playing Eva Perón in Evita. She danced opposite Al Pacino in Carlito's Way. Spike Lee cast her in 25th Hour. She married percussionist Roger Squatero in 1999 after meeting during a Broadway production. They live in Manhattan. She turned 69 last month. Number 7. Olivia Brown, Detective Trudy Joplin. Olivia Brown was born in Frankfurt, West Germany in 1960 to American parents and raised in Livonia, Michigan. Her father was a civil rights attorney whose circle included Jesse Jackson, Alabama Sharpton, John Lewis, and James Brown. As a teenager, she trained as a competitive swimmer alongside Mark Spitz at the AAU level. Her American film debut came opposite Eddie Murphy in Walter Hill's 48 Hours. By 1984, she was on Miami Vice in every single episode of its run, 111 in total. Trudy Joplin started as a decoy in street-level stings and evolved into the unit's primary information specialist, working intelligence channels that Crockett and Tubbs couldn't access. In a primetime landscape where black women on procedural dramas were almost never in positions of authority, Brown was wearing a badge and directing operations, and the network kept her there for the show's entire run. After the show, she appeared on Designing Women, held a recurring role on Seventh Heaven for 7 years, and played Barbara Lee on Moesha, among other credits. She lived in Los Angeles for 18 years, then listed her home. 3 cash offers came in on the day of listing. She packed a Mini Cooper and drove across the country, trying different cities before a real estate contact took her to a waterfront property in Key Largo. She bought it and has lived there since 2020. She is 66. She tells a story about walking into a local restaurant, mentioning she might be moving in, and having the entire room applaud. Number 8. Michael Talbot, Detective Stan Switek. Michael Talbot appeared in 110 of the show's 111 episodes. Switek was the surveillance half of the Van team, Zito's partner, loyal, good-humored, slightly out of step. After Zito's death in Season 3, the writers gave Switek a gambling addiction storyline that ran through the final year, a quieter kind of unraveling than the show usually depicted. Talbot was born in February 1955 in Waverly, Iowa, a town of fewer than 10,000 people. Before Miami Vice, he played the bully in Brian De Palma's Carrie, appeared briefly in the original Rambo, and had a scene cut from National Lampoon's Vacation. His mother Kay died during the show's run in 1987, and a Season 4 episode was dedicated to her. When the show ended in 1989, the work largely stopped. By the late 1990s, his acting career had wound down significantly. Today, at 71, he is back in Waverly. He works as an on-camera presenter for Panteo Productions, narrating instructional videos for firearms training. He is a vocal supporter of the National Rifle Association and, during Miami Vice's run, quietly organized fundraisers to purchase body armor for local police departments, work that never made any headlines. He never really left home. For decades after playing a Miami Vice detective, he lives in a town smaller than the area his character used to patrol, narrating gun safety videos in the state where he was born.